What's good, my people? Welcome into Buckets, Action Network's daily NBA betting podcast. We're in the workshop Tuesday, NBA playoff slate. We got one game. Jay Money is with me to break it down. Shout out our guy AC. He's in Cancun with the family enjoying Memorial Day weekend. But we got a couple. I got a play for you. We'll get into it and break down the game. We're presented by BetMGM, the king of sportsbooks. Go download the Action Network app. Still tons of stuff coming out. Matt Moore is super locked in. He's even real spicy on Twitter right now. Matt Moore's putting out tons of stuff. Brandon, Jim Turby, all the WNBA stuff. Go check out Green Dot Daily. Jay Money's on there all the time with Maria Marino. You know the deal, man. Action Network has got you covered across the board no matter the sport. All right, we got one game on the Tuesday slate. Dallas Mavericks up 3-0 on the Minnesota Timberwolves. Jay Money, give me your best look for Game 4 in Dallas.
Yeah, I lean to the over 210 here.
All right, I'm going to take, and me and my guy Jared correlated here, I'm going to take the team total for the Minnesota Timberwolves over 102.5 in the market. That's the best number. And they got to show up, right? We're going to break it all down right now. All right, Jay Money, let's talk about the overall scope and what's going on here in the series. Luka and Kyrie just absolutely nails in the fourth quarter in Game 3, 21 points, 8 of 10 from the floor. Kyrie had 14. He was going crazy. They look extremely dialed in. I was worried if Kyrie – it's almost, Jay, it's almost like Kyrie – was just like, yeah, I'm going to let y'all go ahead and let the role players get it off in the second round. But when it's time, Western Conference Finals, I'm giving you 30. There was a very long stretch, Jay, throughout that the playoffs where his point prop was like 20.5.
Yeah.
And he wasn't clearing it very often.
The whole series. Yeah, I don't think he went over their previous series. I don't think he went over a single time, and then he comes out in this one going bunkers from the get-go. Well, it's one of them he didn't cover because I think that was Game 2 where he went under his points. But yeah, in the last series, I don't think he scored more than 20 points. Maybe one game, that he popped off. But I don't know if you want to.
But either way, it was a short number that we like from Kyrie. We expect him to get that, no problem. He wasn't doing it; he was deferring to guys. But now we're in the Western Conference Finals, and the deferring is done. It's him and Luka, and they've been going crazy. Quick scope on the Timberwolves here. Obviously, we knew coming in that they throughout the entire year they had a hard time closing games offensively. But as Matt Moore laid out, I was talking about this earlier. They have been losing games on D. They've been getting beat up on D. They're 22nd in clutch time offensively, and then they're losing their bread and butter on that side of the rock. Last point here, and I'm giving it to you, Jay. Minnesota has had the lead in all 3 games under 5 minutes, and they've lost all 3. We got Ant Edwards getting oxygen in the tunnel in the fourth quarter. It's not looking very good, Jay. Give me your overall scope and then why you lean to the over here.
Yeah, and it's not even altitude as well, man. We know that it's a long season. Obviously, Kyrie's been here before as well, right? Like he's won a championship with the Cavs, man. So he's been here before. He knows what time it is to turn up, and it just seems like the Timberwolves put everything. It's almost like that was their championship versus the Nuggets. I think they forgot that you still gotta. Like, there's still other games. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, you knocked out the champs, and they lost to them last year, but it seemed like that was the NBA Finals for the Wolves. Man, I'm watching these guys, and this is the best supposedly the best defensive team in the NBA, and, like, the Mavs are just doing whatever they want. You see the rotations are slow. We knew that the Mavs were going to be a lot more offensive test for these guys, but it's just like, bro, the fact that they're not guarding, obviously they're abusing Gobert, but like I'm even seeing Jaden McDaniels out there in Game 3. Like these guys are scrambling. They just didn't really seem locked in, man. Like from the get-go, like how do you get down 10 in an absolute must-win game? You get down 10, 12 points. Like we don't usually see that. You know what I'm saying? Obviously both conference finals, Western and East, both teams up 3-0. Like I'm not sure if I've ever seen this in like my betting career or even as long as I've been an NBA fan. We never really see when it gets to the final, it'd be so lopsided. You know what I'm saying? So the Wolves, it just really seemed like they're running out of gas. We know Luka says that he's tired as well. So it's a long season. It's been a grind. But the reason why I like the over in this one, with no Lively. I don't know if he's ruled out for sure, but obviously if he had a concussion, then he can't play in this game. So without Lively out there, I do think a lot of things will change as far as like the Wolves. And first off, why they shooting all these threes, Sean? Like you have the size advantage here. You're not even trying to. That's what makes me like, come on now. Like we know everybody knows real basketball. Okay, so especially when Lively goes out, drive to the paint every single time, right? So the fact that they were settling for all those jumpers and not making them really kind of like had me scratching my head. But if Lively is out, which he should be, that would give them a ton of more opportunities to dominate down low, especially because the Mavs don't even have Maxi Kleber back as well. So I don't know if he could possibly try to suit up here. I know that he's been back doing a little bit of practicing or whatever, but even if Kleber's in there, he's not just like, he's no Lively. We know that Lively is really great shot blocker. He's a rim protector. He's a lob threat as well. And even when he's not blocking shots, he can alter shots as well. So without having Lively in there, I do think that could be a huge miss for the Mavs defensively because, I mean, he's been playing a lot better than Gafford. You can almost say the last couple of series, Derek Lively has been one of the most important players for the Mavs. We know Luka's going to cook. We know Kyrie's going to cook, PJ Washington. But defensively, Lively really has changed the game for these guys, man. So, and I've been saying it all season. It's not like it's just now. So without him, there should be at least 10 more opportunities for the Wolves to get some easy putback dunks, layups, second chance opportunities. I feel like this game should go over, and mainly because the Wolves they should have a lot better scoring output in this one. But I was scared to see them not be able to defend these guys on the perimeter. The Mavs offense was still cooking. What they have, 60 points at halftime. I don't know if the Wolves can stop them right now, Sean, to be perfectly honest with you. So I think going to the total in this one rather than trying to figure out a side, I think the total is going to be first, mainly because I expect the Wolves to get have a few more buckets in this one.
Yeah, a few more easy buckets if Lively's not going to be out there. And I think that's what a guy like Ant-Man needs to get rolling as well. So, yeah, I agree with you. We're correlated. We're aligned on how we see the game flow going. I believe I said 102.5. The number's actually 103.5 on the team total for
probably
the Minnesota Timberwolves.
They probably ticking up, right?
Yeah. So I'm taking that. That's what I'm going to go with. I agree. Now, to get back to the Gobert piece, I'm okay with you getting fried on an island by Luka Doncic. Yeah. I don't know if there's a player in the world that can do. Look, he gets a lot of flack because Jokic kills his ass. Jokic is the best big in the world. Yeah. People are making fun of him because he got caught out on an island and almost touched earth, and Luka put him in the mixer and gamed it. My biggest issue is you cannot also then get killed in the drop coverage when you're supposed to be defending the rim and you're giving up that lob to Gafford at the end of the game. That's what that's the issue I have on the Gobert side defensively is okay, I don't have a problem with you getting fried one-on-one versus Luka Doncic, but you can't then, in a lot of other instances, not be contributing offensively like you did in Game 2 where you had 18 points. Game 3, you show up, you're not doing anything offensively. They're taking you off the floor for chunks of minutes because they're trying to find an answer for Luka and these guys. And then the one thing you do really well is protect the rim, and you're getting lobs caught on you and massive possessions down the stretch of the game. That's my biggest thing for Gobert and the defense. But yes, Lively being out opens it up. I agree with that game. So that's really why I'm looking at the team total. And I'm confident that Minnesota shows up. It's not like they haven't been showing up in these games. They've been really, really tight games. Just down the stretch, they haven't been able to close offensively, and then they're getting beat defensively. Also, they've gone over this team total every single game this series. The over has been the play in this series. I think it continues. And also, maybe Karl Anthony Towns can hit a couple shots, and then we should cash this. No problem. 0 of 8 from 3, 4 of 32. Yo, Jay, as a hooper too, you know this. These are bad misses, bro. These shits hitting the backboard. It's skinning the rim. These aren't looks where I'm like, oh man, these are getting ready to go down.
Yeah, but he the best big man shooter of all time though. Let him tell it. You see what I'm saying? So I don't think they showed up in Game 3. I'm sorry. In that spot, usually teams come out locked in, ready to go. And when they were down 6 or 8 in the first quarter, obviously it was a guy that was on the Wolves. You can't come out like that in the first quarter. I mean, you're down 10 12, damn near going into halftime. I think it was 60-52, but I mean, it was like a 12-point lead, and then they got it down to like 8. But I don't think they showed. I know that they made a close game, and it was a tie game back and forth, and they had a chance to win. The fact that they didn't come out in first quarter and first half, like the game shouldn't even been that close, Sean. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to come out and smack motherfuckers in the mouth, man. You got to throw a haymaker. When you lost both home games, what did Denver do to Minnesota? They lost both home games, and what did they do in game 3? Went out there and they were up 15 in the first quarter and never looked back. You know what I'm saying? So, and then obviously they won game 4 as well, but you got to have like that. You got to have that mindset, like, we're not losing this game. And I don't like the way they came out in that first quarter. And that's why I'm not betting them here. You see what I'm saying, in this game. So I hope they do get swept. Now, like they did my Suns, I hope they get their ass swept. But it is going to be hard. Like, it'll be tough for me to see the Mavs, like, continue to have their success. It's just specifically like on the rebounds, offensive and defense rebounds, and just like defensively as overall. Because I said this earlier this year. If Lively's out, we're betting against the Mavs. Like every time he was out, I feel like they were really a bet against. Obviously, it was a little easier when they didn't have Gafford, but they have Gafford now. But still, I feel like Lively's been like a really important. He's one of those guys to where if he means so much to the team, it's not really baked into the points. Where obviously, if Luka's out, they're gonna move the line 6 points, or Kyrie out, they'll move it 4 points. You know what I'm saying? But Lively, I feel like he one of those guys to where he means a lot to the team, but they may not move the line that much. But as far as looking at the total, I mean, I think this is an over spot. I think it's a Wolves team total over spot. Like you say, this is an over series because the Mavs offense is cooking these boys. The Wolves defense has not shown up yet. So no, I think it's gonna be a little over spot here. And how many defensive player a year does Rudy Gobert have? 4?
Yeah, this is 4.
Man, yeah, stop all that. Stop that. They need to take one of them things away.
You know, I want to run down the Gobert rat hole because I mean it is very head scratching.
How much crazy, bro.
You know what it is? I think a lot of people see the award as an individual award. Yeah. He is a really good team defender. But when he gets in these spots where he's out there by himself, everybody's like, DPO, why?
I don't know. Man, give it to Bam. Give it to Bam Adebayo or somebody. Like, Bam can I mean, this is a whole different conversation, but yeah. I don't know. You know me, bro. Like, let's spread the love. You can't be giving somebody 4 defensive player of the year, I'm sorry, when there's other people that deserve it and it's never even got one. So Bam wouldn't be getting cooked like that on the perimeter. He can defend the paint. He can guard 1 through 5. Gobert is like, my guy on skates out there, man. Man, sit him. Yeah. They need to sit him. Start Nas Reed. Go home with your baby. Rudy.
let me get this back on track real quick.
All right.
So you made a good point on Derek Lively, right? So before the trade went down, so I'll go all the way back to February 2024, earlier this year.
Okay.
Without Lively on the floor, they were 4-9 in 13 games.
And I bet you the defensive rating went way down as well.
And then so then after the trade, the record's a lot better. They only had 1 loss after February 5th.
Yeah.
Without Lively on the floor. But when we're talking about that, the trade is done. It is around, but they need him on the floor. I think it helps Minnesota tremendously if he's not going to be on the floor to start the game, even though he didn't play that many minutes there in Game 3. I like Minnesota to show up. I like them to continue to have some success on offense and continue to struggle on defense. If Cat can get going, this team total should cash no problem. I mean, 4 of 32 from 3, not being engaged, not using the size. It's the one thing I will say and push back on you, Jay, is that like a lot of people want Minnesota to use their size. Bro, that's not how they play ball. That's not Cat's game. You feel me? Like people aren't just going to change their game.
They did it versus Denver. Cat was driving into the paint every time, bro. Like when he really realized, like, all right, maybe Jokic isn't the best athletic guy. And then he's like, all right, well, I mean, obviously Gordon was beating him up, but no, Cat was, they were driving to the paint. When those couple games, remember, I was at game 2, bro, and they got absolutely smoked. No, Cat was going crazy, bro. Like, No, they've used their size. I'm telling you this. Game 1, game 2 in Denver, they were getting to the rack. Cat looked like a whole different. Like it looked like. I mean, I don't know what these guys did after this series, bro. I don't know what like.
Yeah, he was hitting shots though against Denver. That always, yeah. I mean, he's settling. He took 9 threes in game 1 and 8 in game 3, and they're just not falling. And then they got everybody on TV calling him a liar, talking about getting shots up and stuff. But yeah, I think overall, if he could get a couple buckets, I think he should. He should bounce back. His prop of over 1.5 threes is juiced up to -175. I mean, there's got to be some type of positive regression there for Cat. I think that really helps the offense and that game flow. I think the game is going to be open. I think Minnesota is just going to leave it all out, and I think offensively that should leave them over the team total. Hit me with the question, and we'll get out of here.
All right. No, I just had a question that do you think that the Timberwolves have any chance of coming back? Like, say if Lively's out for a little while, do you think they have any chance of coming back to win this series?
No, because I think Luka and Kyrie will just will themselves a W throughout the next, I guess, potentially 3 more games after game 4. So, no, I think Luka and Kyrie alone will get them another win. And they've had success on offense. I think they're a little scared of Luka right now.
Yeah,
they don't want
I would be too.
That man right now. Like,
man, put me out there.
It's very spooky.
Put me out there. I know Luka will probably cook. Luka will probably cook my ass, but like, I just got that pride. I got that defensive like pride. Is like you're not finna. You finna work. You finna work for everything. he would have to post me up on that perimeter shit. I mean, we're getting all talking, but I mean, it's just this make it better for content. But Luka would have to work against me. I don't care. He having to work. It's not. You're not finna
Luka's
just cook me repeatedly.
But
he'll put up 30, but he gonna. I guarantee you at the end of the game, he'd be like, you know what? Hey, you know what I'm saying? He got some little clamps on him.
Okay, let me ask you this before we get out of here. What do you think of the number being 2.5? You think that's purely a little shorter because of Lively? I mean, the way that, as I mentioned, the game, Minnesota has had a lead in every single game under 5 minutes. They've been really tight games. Lively now being out, that potentially moves that number. How did you feel about that 2.5 number when you saw it flash for game 4?
If Lively was still in, especially with the Mavs looking like they're about to sweep, usually you see teams. So let's take it to OKC versus Pelicans, right? So game 3, they had the Pelicans kind of like favor, like -1, -1.5, right? Books were expecting the Pelicans to win the game. Then once they lost, they had OKC favored by 3.5 in their game 4 on the road. You see what I'm saying? So I guess what I'm saying is if Lively wasn't out, and with the Mavs looking as good as they are, if Lively wasn't out, the line would probably be 4.5. Like they would even take it up because remember, game 3 opened up at 3.5 for the Mavs, got bet all the way down to -1, -1.5. The fact that I feel like the line would be 4.5, maybe even 5 if Lively was in. So they're still trying to give like a little bit of respect to the.
You think Lively's worth that many points to the number?
I do.
I don't think it's that money. I don't think it's that many. Okay.
Well, I'm just saying the fact that the Mavs are on the brink of sweeping them. They're going to grade them. They're going to, like in that last game, you always see it. You saw the same thing with the Wolves in Phoenix as well. You see what I'm saying? After for game 4, like when it's looking like they're finna sweep or like the books, they know. So they're still kind of giving the Minnesota a little bit of a chance here. You see what I'm saying? But if Lively was in, I do think this line would be at least 4.5, like just on the opener. That's just what I think. But
yeah. No doubt. I think it's a good point. I think he is vital to them. Overall, I think the game. I'm looking forward to Minnesota coming out and putting together a good start. And I think that leads through and takes us over that team total.
Do they win?
Recap. Do they win? If I had to bet a side, I would take Minnesota on the money line plus 120, plus 125.
All right.
That's where I would go, especially with Lively off the floor. It'll be interesting to see the movement if Lively does come back into the fold and see where the number ends up closing. But yeah, if I had to pick a side, I'm taking Minnesota plus 120.
I agree.
So that's where we'll leave it. To recap, J Money leans the game over. I am gonna go with the Minnesota Timberwolves team total over 103.5 in the market. For J Money is Money. I am your host, Sean Little. We are presented by BetMGM, the king of sportsbooks. Go download the Action Network app. Until next time, let's get buckets, baby.